Alright, what's good, y'all? About to break this down. I've done this before. This call is widely regarded as the worst play call in Super Bowl history and probably in football history, given the context. A lot of people do say that. I've had a contrarian stance on this pretty much since it happened. I didn't think it was that bad of a call. In fact, I thought it was probably the right call given the situation. Now, I'm doing this blind. I've made this video before on TikTok and other platforms, and I think I'm the only one that stands up for this call. And if not, then I was the first one and to articulate why this wasn't a bad call by Pete Carroll to begin with. And it doesn't surprise me that I'm the only one that takes this stance because I'm the best to ever do it, obviously. So, not something that shocks me whatsoever that nobody else has caught on to this yet. And a lot of people just kind of go along with what the masses say. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute this. I'm going to get going here and just show you the situation. First of all, we got 26 seconds left in the game. The clock was running at this time. Okay? So, at this point in time, right, it's 2nd and goal. The Seahawks have one timeout remaining. Okay? If you want to maximize your opportunities at the end zone here, especially because you're down 4 and a field goal doesn't do anything for you, you want to be able to use 4th down. If you run the ball here, right, with 26 seconds left, you're going to probably have to use that timeout to get a good play call on 3rd down. All right? Otherwise, you're going to go no huddle on 3rd down and reserve the timeout for if you run the ball on 3rd down to call right after that. Right? I don't think you want to do that. I think what you want to do, and it's a judgment call at the end of the day, what I would rather do is preserve that timeout, pass the ball here, get a good shot on 3rd down, and get another good shot on 4th down after using the timeout if you run the ball on 3rd down. If you run the ball on 2nd and goal, you're either gonna not have your best play call for 3rd down, okay? Or you're gonna use this timeout on 2nd down, and then on 3rd down, you're gonna have to pass the ball. Right? Or you're gonna have to go no huddle on 4th down for the Super Bowl, which is definitely not what you want. As a coach, you do not want to let that get away from you. So, absolutely, on 2nd down with the clock running, passing the ball here on the goal line here, spreading the defense out when everybody expects you to run the ball with Marshawn Lynch is a good decision. All right? That is just 100% categorically the right decision, if you ask me, not a bad decision. And then let's look at the play call itself, okay? You're coming out in the stack, and you're running a rub. Oh my God, guys, a rub on the goal line? Who would have thought? Right? Like a rub slant, running a slant on the goal line with a pick route. Who would have ever, who invented that? Am I right? What an idiot that guy is. Like, come on, look. This is the play you run on the goal line when you're passing it. And honestly, it's there. Look, the jam is great. This is great. This is execution by the defense. The jam is great. We have Malcolm Butler coming over the top of a rub, making an insane play. And frankly, it is what it is. Okay? You're going to have to take the loss on that. Apologies, I had to relocate for the latter part of this video. But, just going back over the play and the play call. The decision to pass, that's the first thing I want to break down first. And we just went over that. I obviously, based on the time, the down distance, and, the fact that you're in an and goal situation to win the Super Bowl, as well as the time left on the clock, the fact that the clock was already running, and, the down you have, and the way you want to be able to control the play calling in later downs here in this situation to win the Super Bowl, you definitely don't want to run up to the line, no huddle. I mean, I would prefer not to, right? So for that reason, I think the decision to pass, and I think most coaches would say they would prefer not to be no huddle on 4th and down, or on 4th and goal, right? On 4th down and goal to go for a touchdown needed situation to win the Super Bowl. Nobody wants to be no huddle in that situation unless you really have repped that out and you're a tempo offense, then it makes sense, but I don't think these guys were. And I don't think that's really a thing in the NFL like that, to run tempo all day. Anyway, decision to pass, I'm a fan of it, okay? Play call, I'm a fan of it. All right, let's see what they're running on the backside. I actually have not looked this deeply into the play, but clearly with his pre-snap, Russell Wilson has already decided he's going to this side, and this is a one-step drop and a throw. That's what this is. Okay? I mean, that's what a slant route on the goal line is going to be. Nine times out of 10. unless you're running a diamond release or something. He's made the pre-snap decision. He sees it, boom, throws it. That's a hell of a play by Malcolm Butler. I mean, that guy, what a play. Yeah, and you've got another pick over here, and you have Marshawn Lynch. Now, see, with Marshawn Lynch leaking out this way, he does have him over there. I mean, it looks like it. At least there's an illusion of that because post-throw, this guy gives up on the route, but it looks like he might have had a step anyway. I mean, regardless, they probably got their look. He's made his pre-snap read, like I said, and he's going to this side. You have, look, in this situation, right, the leverage is in your favor. This is a crazy press. He kind of blows the play up. But if you're running a bench route right here and you want to pick him, then, all you have to do is make him lose one step, half a step, and you have a touchdown. I mean, he is like a good 5-6 yards away from the play. Throws made. A little bit of a slow release, honestly, looking at it. And this is just a nightmare situation. When you run a rub route on the goal line, a slant, and it gets picked off through contact like this, that is just a disaster. I mean, look, that's terrible, right? The outcome was horrible. This is probably the worst. I think Pete Carroll said this in an interview after. This is probably the worst outcome from a play that's ever happened. Not necessarily due to poor execution, possibly better execution by the defense, of course. I think this is Jermaine Kearse. And, he's getting just eaten alive by this guy, and he's supposed to, he has a responsibility. So, and honestly, for Malcolm Butler, man, for this angle here, I don't even want to put it on Kearse, because he just reads this play like a book. Like, this could have been anything, right? I mean, look, there are a couple things you can expect on the goal line, but from Malcolm Butler's perspective, foot is in the dirt, he's breaking on it immediately. Like, he's on point. This boy's on tip. This could have been anything, man. This could have been a flat route with, some sort of deeper corner. I mean, this could have been a lot of different route combinations. And he reads it immediately off the bat, breaks on it right here, doesn't get caught, takes the right curved angle right here to get in front, picks the ball off, and makes a Super Bowl winning play. And I believe he won Super Bowl MVP for this. I believe people were talking about it. And that is, that's just dude, that's just football, man. At the end of the day, the players got to play the game. Pete Carroll's not out there, right? And the play call is justifiable, extremely so. And I honestly think it's the right call. I don't think it's, there's a better call out there, but he made a call that was justifiable. I think this is the right call. Now, could you have thrown a fade? I mean, yes, right? But I don't think you have the personnel. Is this Doug Baldwin up top? Like, you don't have, right? Jermaine Kearse would have been your fade guy, I'm guessing. They don't have Gronk. They don't have Calvin Johnson. So the fade is probably slightly less risky in this regard in the sense of getting picked off. But if you don't have the personnel for it, that can be just as bad. So, but, it is, there's less traffic in the corner, and it kind of isolates the one-on-one. So he could have gone with a fade here if he wanted to pass the ball. A couple other things he could have done. I mean, there's endless possibilities, right? Obviously, you can't run your deep routes. You can kind of run your intermediate route tree in an adjusted format. But I mean, guys, this is what you call here. With the clock running right here, this is what you call. On 2nd and goal with one timeout left, you call a pass play and it's the goal line. This is a completely justifiable call. The outcome sucks, obviously, but if Russell Wilson puts this on his back shoulder a little bit, maybe we're having an entirely different conversation today, right? No, I don't think he could have put this in a better spot, honestly. Like, I don't think... Yeah, he could have thrown it to his back shoulder a little bit and made the adjustment, but it's really tough to make that read in this time frame right here. And we're talking about he's letting that thing go. He's expecting the rub to be there. He's trying to lead him into the end zone, and Malcolm Butler just slithers past and makes a pick. That sucks. That's tough. And you have, and you lose the Super Bowl. I mean, this angle. I don't know this brother's name, but he's kind of jogging it here. You got to attack the ball, and you have to be in a dead sprint. You're trying to gain half a step. At the same time, this could easily be a hospital ball, so there's probably some emphasis on being considerate of that as well. Meaning that that linebacker, depending on what the Patriots are running here, that linebacker could easily deck you or pick the ball off himself, depending on if he's dropping or not. A lot of the time, people play 5 across. Clearly, they're in some sort of man alignment, to start this play. Not even combo. Doesn't look like it was even combo. It was just straight man. Combo, tango, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that's when you exchange, as the receivers exchange, you're just passing off. But, they played straight man. Sometimes people do 5 across zone with a little bit of man somewhere, or just 5 across straight up. And that means your in-breaking routes, you got to be aware of the linebackers. I mean, you can't really do anything. And this is the era we're talking about, man. Is this a fucking shut? I don't know. There are definitely dudes on this football field with shuts on. You know what I mean, with the buckets, which is crazy. This is when the Revo Speed was a thing. That was like the top tier helmet you could get in this day and age. I think that was a Revo. I can't tell. Yeah, it looks like it. But I mean, hey, what are you gonna do, right? I think this was a good call by Pete Carroll. Again, it sucks what happened, but at the end of the day, it's football, man. Shit happens sometimes. I mean, you got all this space. It's tough. It's tough, for sure. But yeah, again, I think this is the right call. I'm not mad at Pete Carroll about it. I just wanted to come out here and put my defense on the air on YouTube. I believe this is a contrarian take that if Max Kellerman said this would get millions of views, right? And I don't think I'm happy to take on anybody in a debate about this play. And I want to hear what they're thinking. Just to give a counter before we sign off here, obviously the consensus among people and football fans in general is that it's second down, you're on the 1 yard line. Keep it simple, give it to Marshawn Lynch, and you'll worry about the next down. I mean, I get it. I get that rationale, but you put some foresight into it, and this is actually the right call. Because the same thing, hindsight is 20/20. If he had run the ball right there, right, everybody would be saying it's terrible clock management by Pete Carroll. They didn't get in. Then on third down, you had to call the timeout. You didn't get it on third down. You had to go no huddle on fourth down. Everybody knew we were going to pass the ball on third down because you have to. And you know what I mean? Then you don't score. Whatever it is, right? Like the narrative is the narrative. He can't be paying attention to that. At the end of the day, he's got to make the best decision based on his internal little calculus that he has as a football coach. And that was to pass the ball on second and goal with 1 timeout left and the clock running. Very defensible. And run a pick route slant on the goal line. Can't be mad at it.